Make the ground shake.
In this measuring cup, we have 1.5 cups of water and a half cup of milk set to 125 degrees. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar and stir it around. This is 4.5 teaspoons of yeast, and I'm going to add it to my milk and water mixture for sugar. Now I stir. Perfect. All right, now we got 2 teaspoons of salt. Add that in there. Make sure you get all of it. It's pretty important. Now we got 2.5 cups of flour. Get that in there. We've been closely monitoring our yeast, and it looks like it's ready to go. So now we can continue our next step. Next step is to just pour our yeast right into the cup of flour and salt. As you're mixing, you're supposed to add cups of flour as you go along with this process. So now I'm going to mix for a long time until this looks good. As you can see, it's starting to come together. It's starting to sort of look like dough. Now I got to put flour down on my surface so I can knead my bread or my dough. And now the dough. Basically, you're going to take it, fold it over, and push. Really work all the flour into the grooves, make it look like it belongs on a TV show.
Make it more like a circle.
Yeah, just like,
Keep like forming it and reforming it back together.
some may call me a pro. Now I'm kneading it on the surface until it's got a consistency where you can push your 2 fingers in and it'll go back to normal shape. Now I just got to cover it up, make sure there's no exposed areas, just like so it can rise properly. Alright, so it's been around 10 minutes, so now we're going to cut it to size for the pan. Perfect cut. It's got a lot of elasticity now. You let go, it goes right back into its normal shape, so that's how I know it's perfect. Feels like dough, looks like dough. It's a masterpiece.
It is dough.
It is dough. Now that we've molded it into a perfect little football shape, it's basically ready to be picked up and thrown. Jesus. Oiling the pan. Slather that in there. Now I put it into the pans, let it rise a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to store the 2 pans in the microwave in a nice little warm environment where it's not going to get fluctuated at all by doors opening or anything like that. And now I'm going to let it sit there and rise. After a little bit of cleanup and sitting around waiting, our bread should hopefully have risen. And yeah, it looks a lot better than I was expecting. Perfect loaf shape. Getting ready to throw that in the oven at 400 degrees. Now preheat your oven to 400 degrees and throw these bad Larrys in the oven like Hansel and Gretel did to that old witch. Oh, perfect. Yeah, just like that. Now wait around 30 minutes and they should be good. Alright, according to my calculations, the bread should be perfect just about now. Oh yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want it to look nice and golden brown like this. Well, as you can tell, it is in fact bread. Alright, so our bread is cooling on a cooling tray now. Should be ready to eat just about a few minutes, I guess. It's probably not ready, but yeah. No, that's some good feeling bread. I think it's gonna be great. Our bread's completely cooled. It's time to cut it up. Just got a perfect slice. Now to taste it. Better than I was expecting. Not great though. Yeah, I'm not gonna take a second bite.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Alright, so the bread was a complete success. And now I'm just gonna discuss how it went. So basically, the yeast had to be perfect between 120 and 130 degrees, the water temperature with the milk. So we did that perfectly, and that's why our bread came out as good as it did. Bread.